Charlie, and tonight I would like to invite you to join the Mac UK journey. It's one that in 4 years has taken me from council estate stairwells to central government and has kept me awake at night more times than I care to remember. Absolutely, genuinely. 4 years ago, I was training to be a clinical psychologist, and I became really bothered by a statistic that said 1 in 3 young people who offend has an unmet mental health need at the time of offence. This really bothered me, not least because I was part of it. I was part of a system which was delivering a service to young people who needed it, but that service wasn't working. I didn't know what the answer was, but I knew that there must be a better way. And I knew who would know what would work. It was the young people themselves. So I had to find a gang. I had to find a gang of young men. So that's what I did. I'd hung out for 6 months at a fish and chip shop on an estate near to where I lived. I got spat at, I had stones thrown at me, and eventually one young person stopped and he said to me, "What are you doing?" He didn't say it quite as politely as that. And I said, "Well, I'm Charlie and I really need your help. I need your help because it seems to me there's lots of things out there for you, but that they're not working. And I think that you know what works." Little did I know that we would subsequently co-found the Mac UK charity together, with the explicit remit of making radical change to the way in which mental health services are delivered to young people in gangs and young people who offend. Gangs and serious youth violence are a growing problem in this country. In the riots of 2011, gang members were disproportionately represented in those who rioted. It's a problem which costs us £4 million, and it's growing. The young people helped me realise that if we put mental health at the heart of the solution, we might have a new way of tackling gangs and serious youth violence. At Mac UK, we literally take mental health to the streets. I'm talking about stairwells, benches, buses, sitting in the pouring rain. It's really quite unglamorous, but it works. To give you a flavour, we worked with one young man for 6 months through his letterbox. Gangs are fickle. He'd been in one and they turned against him. They'd really badly beaten him up. He was so scared he couldn't leave his flat. We spoke to him through the letterbox. He went on to pursue a work placement in a city architect's firm, and he's now in the 24-hour supported accommodation which he needs. Other young people have grown up with such severe levels of domestic violence that going out for a fight is the only way they can calm down. That is a serious psychological issue that needs addressing. Other young people are so angry they can't resolve conflict without the first resort being a knife, and we all know the consequences that that can lead to. At Mac UK, we work with small numbers. 95% of youth crime is caused by 5% of young people. We work with no more than 50 young people per programme per year because that is the level of intensity which they need. They also need to feel authentic ownership over the project, otherwise they won't come. We've had big effects. Across the projects which we've run thus far, over half of the young people that we've worked with have gone on to pursue training, education or employment. And I really can't emphasise enough what these people were doing prior to my meeting them. Smoking skunk, offending, mugging people. They were previously doing nothing positive at all with their time. Some are actually now running their own projects in schools, and we employ them to now take mental health to young people on the verge of exclusion. It costs £4,000 to put a young person through our programme. It costs £1.2 million every time a young person in this country gets stabbed. This is a long-term, complex issue, and it needs a long-term solution. We work with these young people for up to 2 or 3 years. We've had national recognition. The president of the Royal College of Psychiatrists is now on our board, and I'm fortunate enough to be advising the Home Office on the issues of gangs and serious youth violence. I'm going to show you a very quick film of a young person with whom we worked who was interviewed on ITV Daybreak.
Growing up, there was a lot of negative influences. The dealings with police, there's a lot of violence happening around. I felt angry around that time. Then I met the charity Mac UK, who kind of mentored me. It was a positive influence. I now run music workshops in schools. I find mentoring the young people to be a positive outlet for myself. It makes me feel good to help them. I'm more calm now, and I've got more structure. Working with these young people has in itself helped me.
I'm going to ask that young person to come forward. He's called Mark. He's one of the first young people that I met outside the fish and chip shop 3.5 years ago. And if tonight just 8 people can donate £500, it will give an opportunity for us to work with somebody like Mark, who's now teaching in pupil referral units in schools across London. He's won almost more awards than me, and I'm actually humbled to be standing